shrimp on this one, cut bait on this one, night crawler on that one. There we go. We'll go ahead and check that shrimp one here real quick. The water level is really high, but we're going to sit here and fish for a little while. I did get a bite on my shrimp earlier. Nothing really on the cut bait. But we'll see. Nothing there. There we go. Put some more cut bait on there. See what happens. Oh, black rod, I have a night crawler. We did get a sauger earlier, and the other people that was fishing here caught a couple sauger. Nothing real big. But I don't have minnows. All I have is night crawlers and cut bait shrimp. Let's figure out the little night crawler on that and see if we get anything. It ain't real far, but got a little liable to be up close for you. Firm believer in trying the different levels. You know, as far as levels in the water column, or you know, the different depths. When you're bait fishing, kind of got to pull out all the tricks that you know. Let's see if we got anybody on here yet. Holy crap, there's a bunch of people on here watching. Well, y'all let me know what you're doing up so late. I'm glad to see all the views. We're going to get a big fish here in just a little bit. I think it's going to happen. Did that thing just move? Looks like my night crawler got swam away. Yeah, well, that'd be the reason why. See what we can do with it. I really don't have a big enough sinker on here. So I just put a couple of split shots. Where we're fishing here on this boat dock. Any of them bank sinkers I've been using have just been getting caught in between the ridges, and I just got sick of breaking off so often. It's getting disheartening going through so many sinkers. I don't see any chats on here, surely. We've got something. Let's see. What's the There we go. Why don't y'all let me know what the biggest fish you caught this year is? Go ahead and drop that right there in the chat. Hey, there's a hello. I hope you're doing well. I am fishing in Troy, Indiana, on the Ohio River. Pretty common spot. It is a spot that it is a place I don't fish a lot. It's fairly close to home, and the water's just been crazy this year. Cause like we can't get it to settle in. It has just been nothing but going up and down, up and down, up and down. So like the places I would normally fish when the river is what I would call like normal summer levels are just not available to me because the water's up so high, there's just no bank right there. So I'm basically just having to fish where I can. Now I came out here last week, I believe I went live for a little while. After I turned the live off, I left my rods in the water as I was gathering all my stuff together and ended up catching a decent flathead. I think it was about 19 or 20 inches. I believe the biggest one I've caught so far this year was like 25 or 26 inches. That's just not big enough to make me happy. I really want to get one, another flathead blue catfish in like the 40-inch range, somewhere in there, 35. Last year I went out and caught one that hit exactly at 35. And then I caught a couple of decent blues. At the very end of the year, I caught a blue that went like 15 pounds. Now that doesn't sound impressive. You know, a lot of people are catching fish bigger than that. But I'm also stuck on the bank. Oh, North Carolina. Yeah, the river's really high. All right. Austin, I don't know how well you've been doing this year as far as your fishing stuff goes, but down in this area, and actually it's for everywhere because I started it with my YouTube channel. I do a fishing contest. It's the it's the JFE Big Tails Fishing Tackle Fish of the Year contest. We have 4 categories: adult male, adult female, youth male, youth female. And you would just send a picture of a fish you caught this year to jfbfishofyear@gmail.com. All right, I should have it. I can put it up right here. Bam, right there it is. That's the email address. So the winner gets a $50 prize. We vote for all the pictures on Facebook. We do a fish of the month. We do a fish of the year. For fish of the month right now, we're doing like an adult fish of the month and the youth fish of the month. And for fish of the month, we give away a certificate. And for the winners at the end of the year, they get a trophy and a $50 gift certificate. The Big Tails Fishing Tackle is a local bait shop. They sponsored this year. And Hoosier Deals also sponsored this year. But, so, say like you enter and you get the most votes, I'm not going to send you a gift card to a bait shop that you can't go to. You know, we'll work something out as far as like Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, whatever, right? Anyway, so one of the things I like pride myself on with my contest is getting entries from different states. And like this year has really been my best year with it. Like last year I had 33 entries from 7 different states. And this year I'm at like 63 entries from 7 different states. And one of the cool things is I have 2 entries from Alaska. And right now I have 2 entries from South Carolina. Yep, just email the pic, preferably a pic with you holding the fish and just a little bit of information. That way if you were to win, Uh, uh, you know, I could, like if you want fish of the month, I could talk about it a little bit. I'd have something to say. Although I would contact you, I would contact you before I do any of that stuff. And I don't know if you're on Facebook or not, but if you email it to me, then I'll send you the Facebook information, all that, where we vote or whatever. But it'd be cool. I would like to pick up, man. It would just be a big brag on my part to pick up like 10 states. That would be really cool. One of the other things I'm hoping to be able to do with this is, like, right now, not including myself, I have entries from 3 different content creators. And I feel like if I get 10 content creators to send in, then I'll end up doing a content creator fish of the month also. And, you know, most of it, like, I'm not big enough on YouTube to be making any money on YouTube. And Facebook, I make a little bit, you know, not a killing. Oh, there's a little bait fish jumped over there. Let's go with big fish. Ah, but so what I do is save the money I'm making from the Facebook and putting that back into the contest or whatever. I absolutely love the contest, and that was me, by the way. Because like this is my 5th year doing it. See, we still have people on here. There we go. Um, so like this is my 5th year. This is the first year I took on any sponsors. And of course, the first year I did have entries from different states, and I think I was looking the other day, and I want to say I had like 26 entries, and some really cool ones, like, you know, like a big 8-pound bass a guy caught down in Florida. Uh, but my little niece won. I was just doing like the one winner, and then my little nephew won the year after that. And whenever I'm doing stuff like this, you know, I feel like I'm putting myself out there quite a bit, and maybe not getting the reward from it that I feel like I should be getting. Now, obviously, I'm not making content that deserves the reward that I would like to get. Uh, but that 3rd year was the first time a kid had won that I didn't know. I'd met their family, and anyway, she'd won, and that she was so happy that it was just like, no matter what, I need to keep doing that, right? Because like here in Indiana, they do their own fish of the year, and that's where I came up with the idea from it. I kind of stole it from them. Kentucky does a master angler program. Illinois does both. They have so many. Oh, y'all hear them coyotes over there? That's all right. I got something for them. If they want to act too stupid, I got something for them. We got more comments. Am I ignoring people? That's not my intention. Doesn't look like it. I'll answer these comments if I see them pop up. Sometimes it's just, all this stuff just isn't real smooth. So I'm not ignoring anybody on purpose. But having great luck on chicken liver. I believe it. I've used chicken liver a lot over the years. And I'd actually, let's see. I'm going to say up until about 2004, I was big on chicken liver. That was the thing we used all the time. Now, of course, price played a big part into it. And then when I got to fishing the Ohio River a lot, we got turned on to using shrimp. And one of the things about shrimp, now it does come off the hook sometimes. And if you use chicken liver a lot, you get used to it. There's lots of tricks with it or whatever. But I got to using that shrimp and just having really good luck with the shrimp. And it just tended to be cleaner. You know, I just didn't, you know, when I'm handling the frozen shrimp versus handling the mushy liver, getting all that blood stuff over my hands, I just tended to just start using the grill, the shrimp a lot more grilled, uncooked shrimp. But a guy I've been fishing with, started fishing with him last year and been fishing with him some this year. He uses chicken liver. He catches some good ones, man. I'm not against chicken liver. I like it. But for whatever reason, I always kind of think of chicken liver as being like a lake bait. Where when I go to lakes, I don't know that I use the that shit. Do I got a little? What do I got swimming out there? I got a flashlight big enough to see what it is. Looks like a little snake. Let's let me investigate. Nah, it's just debris. Just a little bit of debris. No big deal. But I've caught some decent catfish on chicken liver, but I don't think I have any personal best on chicken liver. I think I've caught more on like cut bait than I have chicken liver. And we use a lot of chicken liver early on. I grew up in Western Kentucky and basically grew up fishing the strip pits down there. And like growing up in the 80s in the hills in that part of Kentucky, I pretty much had free reign. We done whatever, you know, if we wanted to go fishing when I was kids, we'd just go. You know, get one of my buddies or my cousin or whatever, you know, be home when the street lights come on. That was the whole thing. And then when I was in high school, we moved up to Gary, Indiana, and the fishing up there was a lot different. And I think from where I grew up fishing them small ponds, like them strip pit ponds, that I was really put off on trying to fish Lake Michigan. And when I finally started fishing Lake Michigan, I found out that I'd made a huge mistake. So when I found myself living here in southern Indiana, understanding the mistake I made up there, I knew I needed to learn how to catch fish here. Because anywhere you're at, I think your best option is going to be to fish some of the biggest waters you have available to you. Now, if you have private waters available to you, I understand that's different. Let's see. Richard. Or live. Oh yeah, it'd be nice to have live shrimp. I don't get to use live shrimp. That great draw, man. Those that I fished in Florida one time. I went down there to help. Went down there to help a friend of mine's mom move. And this is before I'd had any kind of steady job. And she lived on a golf course, and I'd got to fish that golf course, man. And those were just the biggest bluegill I've ever seen coming one right after another. They were just giant ass bluegills, like you couldn't get your hand wrapped around them. And I'm just sitting out there fishing like the hillbilly I am. Although I wasn't very aware of Florida culture at the time. I didn't realize how redneck you could be being from Florida. No offense, I like a little redneck culture myself. So this couple pulls up in their golf cart. It was talking to me about alligators, and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And they're like, oh, well, there's an alligator right over here. Well, hell, I'm out there just fishing on the bank catching them bluegill, and there's an alligator like 50 yards away from me. I didn't even know it. And I'm telling you, when you live in Indiana, Kentucky your whole life, pulling up on a damn 7-foot alligator is not the experience. It was cool and all, but they pulled me up there way too close. Way closer than I cared for. Richard, I don't know if you'd seen it or not, but earlier in the conversation, I was talking about my Fish of the Year contest, and I'd invite you to enter. And just send me an email of a picture of a fish that you caught this year, preferably a picture of you holding a fish, and I'd be happy to have that. That'd be really cool. Right, it's the 5th year I've been doing it, and right now we're up to a little over 60 entries. I just got an entry from this young lady who caught a hammerhead shark out of South Carolina today, and that's the first, not the first shark I've had entered in, but it is the first hammerhead shark. And just growing up, I always thought they were really cool. And they are. There you go. Hammerhead sharks are cool. We don't get to see much stuff like that around here. Well, they either tore my worm off or ate my worm. I don't know. We'll cast this back out there and see if we can catch some bait and get a little action for you guys. I'd rather see that big bluegill head freaking pop off. That'd be awesome. But for it being 90 and humid and muggy, I did have a breeze most of the day, and it's real nice out here right now. I like it. Beautiful weather. It does look like my water's dropping though. So river level when I started, it's supposed to be like 26 feet. So, and then when it starts dropping, it's supposed to really drop pretty hard over the next few days. So hopefully, let's see, go back to work for like 5 days. I work up at a steel mill, so I kind of got a schedule where I work day shifts one week and night shifts the next, and overtime in between. I'm fortunate enough to have it. I'm not complaining. But then after that, my brother's going to be coming into town, so I'm going to get to fish with him a little bit. And then right after the 4th of July, my nephew's coming into town, and hopefully the river will have settled down by then. Whenever he comes into town, I'm really going to be able to hit it pretty hard. So if you guys are, of course, it's free to follow, you know, and I always appreciate follows and likes, and comments, and that sort of stuff. I'll be on the Kentucky side down by the dam if things work out right, and odds of catching good fish over them few days should be really good. That's coming up already. Told you all them little ridges. There we go. Little sinkers just drop right into them ridges. There you are. I need to work up a dang bite. Let's just stop talking about it. What I really need is about 3 or 4 people to just wish me good luck. The first time I went live, I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine put on there, a couple of them put on there, well, good luck, good luck. And right when they did that, I had a whole live bluegill casted out there, and that rod just went, man. That was that 35-inch flathead. That was a good bite. That was fun. I was using like a Zepco 888 at the time or whatever, so it really made the fight tough. Maybe I was using that. I think it was on that Zepco though. I've been trying to upgrade. I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to buy a new rod and reel this year, but next year I plan on getting a really upgraded reel. See, Dale, hope you're having a good evening. Appreciate you dropping in and saying hi. Always like that. Keep me company. Just out here waiting on that big bite. But I got a friend over on Facebook from South Carolina that makes fishing rods, and I would really like to have him make me a catfish rod next year. That's that big ass rods. Real funny guy, does lives on Facebook all the time. Good guy. I enjoy his content. A lot of times I just throw, you know, like, because he does it in the evening, and if I'm busy doing stuff, I'll just throw my earbud on and listen to him. I'll drop in and let him know that I'm there, because he's always doing some kind of, he takes names and draws numbers, and then at the end of the, like, he makes a fishing rod the whole time, and then whenever the rod's done, I guess he pulls the name out to give the rod away. So I'll let him know I'm there so I can get my number put in, and then I'll walk around and listen to him. Very South Carolina. Whatever that is, he's very South Carolina. And I mean that as a compliment. He's just really interesting. It's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get this out there. Put it in a fish's mouth. It's tough, man. You do all this talking. We know sound travels through water about 50 times faster than it does through air. Any of y'all watch basketball? Pretty much a big Pacers fan. Pacers and Bulls. Man, still got some people out here. Nice. We just need to give you guys a reason to be here. At least a little something. If the fish would cooperate, this would just work out really perfect, because the water's up so high that I've got these street lights covering what I'm doing right here. I know a lot of guys, you know, they'll have the neon rods with the black lights, and man, that stuff looks great. You know, they really got their stuff together. That stuff looks great. And I may get into doing all that at one time, but I'm not going to I just don't feel like going and buying $1,400 worth of rod and reels immediately. And in Indiana, you can only fish with 3 at one time per person. So maybe it wouldn't be that much money, but still. I ought to go back to fishing with one of them Zebcos. One of the things I like to do is fish in a way that anybody can find accessible. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, God. Oh, I gotta tighten that shit up. Oh, are you kidding me? Nope. You're not kidding. Shrimp is the deal, though. Oh, no hook. No hook. Holy shit, that's embarrassing. All right, I have more hooks. We'll see if we can do a better job tying one on this time. Don't do that. Fish slime on there too. Now let me know if that rod behind me starts doing something. There we go. Matter of fact, we can use that. I should get some kind of notification. All right. right hook for the job. Not too big, not too little. Down here. Well, that's disappointing. That was on that shrimp too. I don't know what y'all tie, but I'm gonna tie polymer. At least that's what we call it around here. I may just switch both rods to shrimp. There we go. There we go. Pull shrimp out. A few pieces left. Ain't gonna stay on there very well, is it? Oh yeah. Let's go. I don't think we casted that one out very deep. It was up fairly close. I'll tighten that down. Good. There we go. Do something real quick. We're gonna move this one just now. I seen the guy on Cats and Carp using that. And so far, I've not had a single reason. I've not caught one fish with it. Not one time has a fish went off since I've had that thing on. Let's not lose my little light. Ah, there we go. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if that worm's coming. There's the worm. Probably been fishing more already this year than I did all of last year. Although this is the first go around of me, this is the first year that I've actually tracked how many trips I've taken. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I think I think I'm averaging at least once a week, which is kind of my goal. When I took a couple of vacations there in April and May, and the weather just did not cooperate at all. Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna get a good bite on this thing. Fish head. Let's go. Let's make that happen. I ain't asking for much. Nice 10 pounder. 5 or 6. 3. 33. Nice. I can't. There we go. I have my earbud in. Let's see. The last comment I have is from Dale. So if you guys have been commenting, I'm not seeing it. So I'm not trying to ignore anybody's comments. I do want to address everybody that comments. appreciate all that stuff. I'm just sitting out here waiting on another bite. Make sure I have plenty of water. Man, when I was a kid, you would go to the lake, and if there was adults there, somebody was drunk. Maybe it was just because I lived in such a poor area there in western Kentucky. And I like drinking and stuff, but man, I do not miss all them drunks. Them people are crazy. Drink at the bar, drink at home, drink at the restaurant. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. Only thing I'd ask of you is if you're out catching fish, send me a picture for the JFE Big Tails Fish and Tackle Fish of the Year contest. Want to make that a thing. Last year, Indiana had entries for 72 species. I didn't see how many total entries they had. I think 2 years ago they had 142 entries, and it would just be wild for me if I can get more entries than the state of Indiana got for their contest. Now, granted, I am taking entries from any state in the union. I'm also not giving away 72 awards. I'm giving away most votes for adult male, adult female, youth female. Doesn't matter what species of fish. Doesn't matter where it's caught. I do have in the rules that it needs to be legally caught, legally obtained, that sort of thing. I'm not trying to encourage cheating. I mean, in Indiana, noodling's not legal, but if you're in a state where noodling's legal, I don't mind. I get it. It'd be cool to have somebody enter that was noodling. I don't believe I've had that yet. Although this year, getting 2 entries from Alaska, I thought was pretty wild. That was really cool. One guy caught a big salmon. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to mispronounce the heck out of this. Kellen, hello. Hope you're having a good evening. Appreciate you dropping in. I did have Richard tell me about using chicken liver. One thing that surprised me is Richard being from Florida, I wouldn't think chicken liver would be the go-to there in Florida. I would think they'd be doing I think that's where a lot of people are using the chicken breast. I think that's where a lot of that action started. Kellen, what's your favorite bait or lure? What do you fish for? Oh, there's a little hit. Little nibble. Let's see if we can get one for everybody. Gotta get at least one on camera. I wasn't live, but the first big fish I caught while I was recording was a 51-inch long-nosed gar. I caught it on a piece of cut bait while I was fishing the Ohio River. That was wild. by myself, so I didn't have somebody to help me like record it. So it had jumped and completely cleared the water. It was just awesome. Just anything coming out of the water, you know, dang thing was over 4 feet long and come out of the water. And, gave me a heck of a fight right at the bank. I got it. You know, I got all of it on camera, put up a short, made a video about it. That video's a little on the old side, but that's cool. I'd like to do it again. I entered that into the Indiana Fish of the Year contest. Carter uses shrimp or squid and mullet. Man, I don't have any mullet available to me here. I have shrimp on that white rod though. I always get the uncooked, probably medium or large. I have a night crawler on this one and a piece of cut bluegill on that. I started with a piece of live bluegill because them flatheads, man, them live bluegills tend to be flathead candy. But a lot of times they'll get finicky and they'll like one kind of bluegill over another. And if you don't have the right kind of bluegill, they won't hit it. And if you have the right kind, they'll hit it even if it's cut bait. I don't think I have the right kind. Although the blues will hit them. The blues will hit the cut bait. I've caught blues on cut bait. I've caught blues on live. What's no good is normally, like at this time of the year, I'm out here fishing with the threadfin shad or the skipjack. You know, you can just come here and catch them right at the bank. You know, along the boat ramp a lot of times. And they wasn't here today. Oh, I am fishing, Carter, I'm fishing on the Ohio River between Indiana and Kentucky. I'm in Troy, Indiana, specifically. I'm just right here at the boat ramp. The river's up really high. It looks like it's dropping a little bit right now. So I'm not fishing in one of my normal spots. Because if I was fishing in one of my normal spots, I wouldn't have all these street lights. I tend to like to fish in a little more out of the way spots. But my normal places are just covered up with water. And I just can't get to them. But I did have a good bite on, a couple of good bites on my shrimp. One, I lost, the hook broke off. Shameful. Embarrassing, really. Although it could have been a guard, teeth got a hold of it and broke it off. I did catch a sauger here earlier, which we have sauger in the river, but they got to be 14 inches, or they need to be 14 inches to keep them. And I don't know that I would want to keep just one sauger, but I may try to keep it alive for a few minutes to see if I catch another one right behind it. Because I like sauger kind of a lot. I got a fish. We got a fish. Yeah, we do. Oh, what do we got? Oh no, we got him. Oh, we got him. Let's see. Oh, we know what. Ah! Act like you've done this before, dummy. There we go. What is that? Little striper. One of the cool things about, ooh, I'm gonna drop my phone. Carter, God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Heck yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna do my thing here real quick. There's a shorts videos that I like to do that's bait plate or throw it back in the lake. If you go through and follow my channel, you'll see some of that stuff for yourself. Appreciate all them likes there. And I'm gonna just record that here real quick if y'all don't mind. Right here live on. I gotta take advantage of it. I work quite a bit, so when I work, I don't have time to fish and record stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna get turned around here. At least I can see the lake. All right. Let's see what we're doing here. Hey y'all, got a question for you. Bait, plate, don't back in the lake. Oh, little nighttime striper, what y'all think? That's definitely got to be some catfish candy. Y'all have a good day. Oh, that's how we do it. We'll edit that up a little bit. What we think? We're definitely going to use that for bait. We're definitely doing it. Indiana, as long as it's of legal size and legally obtained, you can use it for bait, which is pretty nice. Willie, hope you're having a good evening. We can't all be out here fishing. Some people got to be at work and stuff. Or doing whatever it is you're doing. I don't know. You let me know. Yeah, we'll just put them on there live. That's what we'll do. We'll just do that. Don't want to lose it. Right here. Stick that in my ear. Oh, we hung up. We might have a little fish on this one. Just sitting on it. No? Got a line anyway. Let me get rid of that line. Oh, snap. That's a lure. We'll take that. We always like free stuff. Let me set this guy down. Hear what I'm doing here. As you can see, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, apparently. Getting this stuff all tangled up. Somebody broke their braid off. There we go. All right. A little trash out of the river. Got that going. There we go. The Huzz. I like it. I am on the Ohio River, Indiana side. Right here in Troy, Indiana. If y'all have ever heard of Evansville, I'm probably about 40 minutes east of that. Let's see here. Make sure we get plenty of fish slime on my drinks. Oh shit. All right. Trying to get cute. I get a couple of these barges to go by, I think we'd catch something. Or just a little thing like that. Here we go. We don't have to cast this out there real far. We just need to get it out there. Oh yeah. Oh, we do have a visitor. I know y'all can't hardly see that from where you're at. I got a crane right down there. I think it was here the last time I was down here fishing. Let's slide that a bit closer down there. All right. One fish. Have some unique live bait out there. Have another little short. Y'all give me a big subscribe. They're free. I appreciate it. You can check out my bait plate or throw it back in the lake. You see how we do it? Also started doing another little series of red flags in a fishing partner, which I just feel like there's a lot of misunderstandings out there, because there's a lot of people complaining about taking people fishing who are not bringing their own rods, bringing their own lures, bringing bait, not paying for gas, that sort of thing. And a lot of times whenever you have your boat and and you're going fishing with that person, you know, you tend to feel like that person's taking you fishing. And maybe that person doesn't feel like that. Although I am a firm believer in, somebody's taking you fishing, you should give them gas money. You should bring your own equipment. Or if you don't have equipment, you're getting that straightened out before you ever get out there. You know, before you ever get out of the water, you're letting that person know that you don't have stuff to be on a boat. You don't know what kind of fishing they're doing. I like to get all that straightened out. Let's see here. All right, let's see, Carter, Willie, and the Huzz. This is the last comments I've received. I'm not seeing any other comments. So I do want to address any comments if people are putting comments down out here on the Ohio River. When I got here earlier, there was a family fishing over there, and they didn't get anything real big, but they caught some sauger and stripers, you know, the normal stuff. And I got here and caught a little sauger and just now caught a little striper. If you're not aware, if you haven't seen any of the comments from earlier, I do a Fish of the Year contest open to anybody, any legal resident in the U.S. And to be fair, I'm not trying to discriminate against anybody. It's just that's the way these contests are supposed to be. You know, not affiliated with YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. But we're sponsored by Big Tails Fish and Tackle out of Tell City, Indiana. So if any of y'all are watching here in Tell City, stop by and tell Jim. You heard me talking about him here on YouTube. Our fishing contest is also sponsored by B&M Hoosier Deals. I'm gonna write that on here. You guys could go over to Facebook and give them a follow and tell them I sent you also. Those people, Mr. Nathan, I've known Nathan for years, and he's done me a couple of really big favors over the years. I'd met him when I first started working out this way, and I was driving 61 miles to work, and I was doing industrial cleaning, so it was real common to drive to work, park my car, and be gone for 4 days, and then come back and then drive an hour back home, right? And the drive home a lot of times would be say I'm in Ohio, we work a 10-hour shift, then we drive back to Indiana, and then when we get back to the shop, then I drive home. So a lot of times it was really common for me to be driving home after being up for 18 or 20 hours. So, and it made some of them drive homes pretty rough. So he'd introduced me to a landlord around here that had a place to live, and I appreciated that. And then me and Nate got to be pretty good buddies, and life does what it does. But man, they got some pretty good deals. They ship. That's, you know, it's not fishing stuff. It's like household goods, and what they do is they'll buy pallets and then, you know, break it down. And from what I've seen, about everything they sell is is half of retail price. So that's pretty cool. And then if you would like to enter, I'll go ahead and put my email address on here again. All the voting is done over on Facebook, but just send me a picture of a fish you caught this year. I'm gonna type that in right there. And yeah, tell me a little something about it. It wouldn't hurt. I'll send you an invite over to the Facebook, my Facebook page and the Facebook group. And, we do a fish of the month. We give away a little certificate for that. Last month, a guy won. I started because we're getting so many entries in. I'm doing 2 divisions. I'm doing an adult and a youth. And the adult that won was from Tennessee. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like I like having regional stuff, but I also like stretching it out. Because, you know, when you're on the internet like this, it's, you know, it doesn't have to just be stuff going on that's right down the street. It's nice to have some stuff going on that's down, you know, you would like to have it, oh, what am I trying to say? Have more of a national appeal. I like it. See if we can get another fish. That one on camera doesn't hardly count. It's just bait. I mean, it counts. I appreciate it. Anyway, Robert, I caught striper that was about big enough for bait, about a 7-inch striper, probably about 5 or 6 minutes ago. I broke off on a piece of shrimp on this one, which was, I would say, was a decent catfish or probably a gar. I know when the river floods like this and then it starts to drop, we get them gar moving up really close. Yeah, that's not too bad. I have that whole striper on here, which the striper's not necessarily my go-to bait, but that's what's swimming right here. So it's basically just using what's here. And I see some green lights way down over there. My crane friend is still over there. Oh, can y'all see it? Let me move out of the way. I'm gonna scoot this back. Y'all like that wildlife. I'm pointing at it. Y'all tell me in the comments if you see that thing. See that white thing standing down there? That's a little crane that hangs out here. Robert, I've been to Cincinnati. When I was in high school, I was there for a weekend. And oddly enough, it was the weekend of the Rodney King riots. Not funny. But my teacher had called me because it was just me and the teacher there. It was the weekend of prom, and I went to my girlfriend's prom at her school. And even though I had good friends and stuff at school, I'd only went to that school for a couple of years because we moved between my freshman and sophomore year. And the friends that I hung out with really wasn't into the prom crowd. So the trip to Cincinnati sounded way better than going to the prom for me. So we went to the prom. This was back in 1992. And like when the verdict had come down and the riots started there in Los Angeles, she called, she's like, just stay in your room. You know, like get back to your room and stay in your room. And we figured out in a couple hours that nothing was going to happen in Cincinnati. That Cincinnati was okay. Which I enjoyed Cincinnati. I haven't been back. I would go back if I had a reason to. But I did get to go, which I grew up around. I'm originally from like Gary, Indiana, and my grandma was a big Cubs fan, so I grew up a big Cubs fan. And so I did get to see the Cubs play Cincinnati on, I think it was the Friday night, was the first night we went there, and I bought scalp tickets. And this was the old Riverfront Stadium. And It was really cool. I had really good seats for that one. And then the next day we went with we had tickets that were available from the group. It was like the Business Professionals of America. And those tickets weren't very good. And that stadium was so big, man. For baseball, it was just huge. But I enjoyed it. They lost the Cubs lost the first night. I want to say it was like 3-2 or 3-1 or 2-1. Greg Maddux pitched, didn't give up any runs. Cubs couldn't score for him, and then the next day, uh, let's see, the next day, Sandberg hit a home run. Andre Dawson hit 2 home runs. I want to say Kurt Sutcliffe pitched, and he gave up some runs also. Like it was a high-scoring game. I want to say it was like 12-8 or something. And I'd seen a story going around on Facebook recently about Rick Sutcliffe cussing his, like they were in Cincinnati and he cussed his pitching coach who come out and talked to him. Like he didn't know that he just gave up back-to-back home runs or something. And what was cool was it was that game. That was the game. That was pretty cool. I thought so. Oh. Easy. Oh, we don't have nothing on there, do we? We can fix that. Fishing here on this bow brand, and these sinkers get hung up in these ridges. Stuff moving around out there. Let's see. Oh, Luke's fishing hunt. How are you doing, bud? I hope you're doing well. That's who I need. That's who I need to enter something. Luke, I got a fishing contest, and if I get 10 of the content creators to enter, I'm going to do a content creator division on its own. Although all the voting is over on Facebook, but still, give away like a $50 gift card. If I can get that, I'm gonna give away a $50 gift card. That's what the winners get for the adult male, you know, for all the divisions that we have. We don't need that out there real far. We're just trying to catch a little something. Out here on the Ohio River this evening, I have a shrimp on this rod. Shrimp. Frozen shrimp. I'm here in Indiana. I'm not really getting live shrimp. Frozen, uncooked, medium or large. I think it's a medium. I have a live striper on this one, about 7-inch striper that I caught a few minutes ago. I'd had a whole live bluegill on there for a while with no action. Then I had cut bluegill on there for a while with no action. The only action I've had is with the shrimp. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on here, but I don't think I'm going to go to shrimp on both. But whatever. We'll see what we catch. How are y'all doing? Luke, if you're still on here, well, let me know what the best fish you caught this year is. That's what I'd like to hear. I'm sure everybody's got me beat. I've got like what was it, like a 25-inch flathead, something along that line. Definitely not the biggest flathead you ever seen. Oh yeah. And that is the last comment I see is Luke's. So if anybody else has commented and I haven't responded, it's just not updating on my end yet. I know sometimes there's a lot of lag between, when you guys type stuff and when I'm able to see it. But I appreciate everybody joining me tonight. I like it. River's up. I tend to just fish on the days that I have available to fish. Regardless of, sometimes you go and it's great conditions and you just wear them out. Sometimes the fishing can be pretty tough. do have little ones jumping out there. Still got my old friend down there. I don't know how the weather was where you guys were at, but today was the hottest day of the year for us. It was like 96. But thankfully there was a light breeze, and when I got here, I want to say I was here about 6 o'clock. I had a breeze from 6 until about 8. And right when the sun started going down, I lost my breeze. But it'd be all right. See, next month I hope to spend at least 2 or 3 days at the dam, which would be on the Kentucky side. They've got a nice sandbar there, and plenty of fish should be caught there. I have my nephew coming into town. He's 16. He's coming from Lexington to be like my sister's son. And which 2020 kind of screwed things up. Oh, we're about to get some action. We got a barge coming down. That's when the fish bite. What am I trying to say? But he's been coming down about every year. 2020 messed things up, but he comes down, we'll fish. This year he's been doing a lot of fishing on his own. Really one of the see, I'm 51. I've been able to go fishing on my own since I want to say I was at least 8 or 9 years old. I know for sure 9, and it may have been 8. Let me see if I got more comments while I'm telling stories here. And really, like, one of my better accomplishments was I got a call from my sister this year telling me about Nathan going fishing with his friends, taking a little grill, skillet, some oil, and they went and caught fish. He took his fillet knife, he filleted the fish there, and he cooked the fish all right there where they were fishing. And knowing that, like, I taught him how to, I'm not going to take credit for teaching him how to fish, but I am going to take credit for teaching him how to fillet a fish and really how to cook fish. So that was really cool. And one of the better parts, let's see, my dad passed away. Really, the whole reason I started this channel was as a way of grieving my dad's death. I had a strained relationship with Dad, but fishing was really the best part of our relationship. We had good times, and most people have good and bad times. But Dad was an addict, and he was my whole life, so it just makes things tough, right? Anyway, but I taught him the same way that my dad taught me, which was very much an old school way of doing it, which was, ooh, did you get something here? When I was 9, I went fishing. I caught my first mess of fish. I caught a keeper bass and like 4 or 5 bluegill, and I was just so proud. Like, I knew I had enough fish that I was going to get to feed the family or whatever, right? And it was a big deal. We were poor. Catching fish wasn't just for sport. It was, we caught fish to feed our family. Anyway, so as I'm walking back from the lake, Dad's in the backyard. He came back from fishing. He's cleaning his mess of fish. And I come over there and I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, is he still on there? Oh, look what I got, Dad. Got him. Oh, how big he is. Oh, there's one for us. You don't like that? Oh, that's a drone. Yeah, let's beat the drone. There's one. It's mostly bait, but that's what we were trying to catch with it. Right? Yeah. We're going to set this aside. I'm going to do a quick video real quick. I'm going to do a video here in a second. I'm going to finish my story first. So, or I'm going to let this guy go. So I get back here and I go to hand dad my fish, and he's like, if you're old enough to catch them and keep them, you're old enough to clean them. And I was like, oh, okay. So he goes inside, he gets a knife, he comes back, like has a little bowl for me to put the fillets in, a bucket. He shows me where he wants me to bury the carcasses, tells me about how deep to bury them, shows me how to fillet one fish, and then leaves, tells me I can keep the knife, right? So when Nathan was here, it wasn't the same scenario because we were fishing together. And but anyway, I showed him how to fillet. So I'm gonna show you the way that Dad showed me. Showed him where I wanted the fish buried, how deep to bury them. Showed him I walked him through cleaning one fish, and then I walked away. And about 5 minutes later, he come back and asked me a few questions, and I was happy to help him. And so whenever he went and done all that stuff on his own, I was pretty proud. It was pretty awesome. Y'all forgive me for a minute. I gotta make a video real quick. I gotta do these. I don't have to do them, but I like doing these shorts that are bait, plate, throw it back in the lake. That's what that's gonna be right there. If I can keep from getting a big bite here, throwing my rod, let's see if we can catch this guy. Hold on to it without breaking anything. Oh, hope y'all are having a good evening. I got a question for you. Bait, plate, roll back in the lake. Oh, that's just a little drum. Eat the drum. Y'all have a good evening. Let me know in the comments. There we go. Now, let's see what we get. See if we can do anything. Right. It's 11 o'clock. We've been on here for a minute. Anybody still watching? Last comment I seen was Luke's. I haven't seen it anymore since then. I haven't had a bite on the shrimp since I put it out. That striper's moved once or twice, but that's about it. Check something real quick. Don't even want to look. Yeah, that's what at least we're catching bait. It's better than nothing. Whew. Club's lost. Fisher's lost. Still got the worm. Barges come by, push all that water around, and making bait fish get up, move, and crayfish move. Fish just know that's what it's time to do. All the good feeding size fishing. It could be about 5 degrees cooler. Still just a little bit warm. Yeah, he's moving. Let's just put this guy aside. That big one goes off. I may not want to have to have another rod. Here, I have, that is a Catfish Pro that I bought from Walmart. I think it was $90 for the combo. I have a 20-pound test on it right now. I did buy some 50-pound line. Whenever I go to respool, I'm going to put the 50-pound line on it. That is a Zepco rod with a Dowel reel that looked like it just moved. That reel, I have had it, I want to say since 1995, and it was an older reel at that time. Now, I did not start using it until very recently. I went, unfortunately, I did not have I didn't know a lot of people that would use bait casters, so we always just tended to use open face reels or spinning reels, or like the push button reels. And then, probably about 15 years ago, I really got into bass fishing. Got hooked up with some guys that were doing like tournament fishing stuff, and taught myself how to use bait casting reels with their help. Not that using bait casting reels was that hard, but I'm sure if you've been around, you understand that a lot of people just don't take the time to learn how to use it. So I had that one sitting around, and when I got back to doing the catfishing again, I finally got it lined out today. So starting to use that over. I paid $20 for it. Probably somebody took the money and took a box of crack. Mackerel is buried in the end. Oh yeah. Eric, where are you from? I am out here on the Ohio River, southern Indiana. You're not going to be on the Ohio River being northern Indiana. It just runs through southern. About 45 minutes from Evansville. Maybe just a little bit. But it's that part of it. Still a few people on here watching. Maybe whoever's watching now is about to be a big. Oh, where do I hook the fish? I need to try and land it out in front of this thing. That's what I'm going to try and do. I can't make any promises, but that's what I'm going to go for. Standing in front of the car right here, so you guys can see it. North of Pittsburgh, I like it. I've been to Pennsylvania back when I was doing industrial cleaning. We went to York, Pennsylvania. I don't remember the name of the plant, but I was there for like 4 days, and I enjoyed the hotel. I had a bar in it, and I worked. Industrial cleaning is miserable work, but you know, hard work, and it was the best job I could find at the time. So that's what I done. CG, oh, Minnesota, CG and Eric, I for sure need to get some entries from you guys for my Fish of the Year contest. I'll type in the email address to send it to you right here. We're both on Facebook. When we do a Fish of the Month and a Fish of the Year, there we go. I have 4 divisions: adult male, adult female, male, female. All open to all species of fish. One thing I asked that the fish was caught legally and caught in this calendar year. But right now, I have fish caught from 7 different states. Pennsylvania's not one of those states, and Minnesota's not one of those states. And this is the first year that I've taken on any sponsors, so I have the local bait shop as a sponsor, Big Tails Fishing Town here, out of Tell City, Indiana, and B&M Hoosier Deals. A friend of mine who do like online, they do like Facebook Lives, and then they'll post stuff. They like buy pallets and then resell the items. Not necessarily fishing related stuff. But at the end of the year, I put it up on my Facebook pages and we vote. The winners will get $50. You do not have to be from this area to get it. I'd be happy to send it, or well, you never know, I might get a wild hair. Just take it out there. Oh, from Thailand. Let's see. There's some YouTubers that I watch that I believe are living in Thailand. And one guy out there who was making films when I first started doing YouTube videos. He done like documentary films, man. He got some really good stuff. But I've got to kind of be friends with him, you know, talk with him on Facebook and stuff. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know much about Thailand, other than a lot of, you know, rumors and stuff that I feel like you hear from you guys. I know, I want to say a lot of electronics, like filming electronics, is like really big. Oh, from Thailand. I'm just right here trying to figure out if there's more than corn in Indiana. I want to see one of these big catfish. I'd be happy with a big striper. Really. My biggest striper is like 3 pounds. Man. Those things get to be like 50 pounds or 50. Buddy, I got a little wildlife out here. When I first started, when I first went live this evening, you could hear the coyotes. But they were on the other side of the river. Like right on the other, like behind me is all residential area. And on the opposite side of the river, it's great stuff. Hope you're having a good evening. I am in Indiana, Troy, Indiana specifically. It's kind of like on the western part of Indiana, southern Indiana, on the Ohio River. Not far from here, up to the next dam going that way, which is just a couple of towns over. It's really not that far. If I put in here and drove to the dam, it would only be probably about on the street driving there, 25 minutes. On the river, probably a little longer than that. But not far from here is where the Indiana record blue catfish. At the time the guy caught it, it was the record for both Indiana and Kansas. But that was right after I moved to this area. I always thought that was pretty cool. I got kind of excited for the catfish. It's not necessary, you know, it's not necessarily that catfishing is my favorite type of fishing. It's that, like, the reason that I spend more time catfishing is because, like, I'm more likely to catch a really good catfish in this area than I am to catch like anything else, like a good bass or a good striper. And at that, you know, just to be able to go and fish from the bank. Everything else, yeah, catfishing slayer. I have not caught any catfish, but I have caught bait. I've caught a little drum early today before I went live. I caught a sauger. It was only about 12 inches, not a huge one. And I caught a striper that's about 8 inches or so, and that's what I have on this rod. And on this rod, I have a piece of shrimp. I started the evening off with a live bluegill, but the bluegill died on me, so I went to cut bait. And then when I caught the striper, I switched over to the live striper. I don't know if the live striper is actually going to work out or not, but I ain't going to know unless I throw it out there. I have a live drum behind me. I'll just switch out the striper for the drum, and I may do that here 20 or 30 minutes. I'm not sure. That ain't it. got out here and tried to throw my cast net to get some shad. And even had like my skipjack lure I was throwing, but no luck on any of that stuff. No, I'm not fishing at the dam. I'm at Troy. Hell, the water's at 26 inches. I don't even know where I'd fish if I went to the dam. You know, it's a pretty good drive from here. I hate to drive all the way out there and carry all my stuff down to the dam. I'm just spending my whole time being hung up in the box or whatever. Not having any decent spot to fish. Plus, it was so hot. Kind of the idea was just kind of go someplace where I could just park and fish. I do plan on going to the dam next month and actually spending a few days out there. But like right now, I'm having some knee issues, so I'm not going to do all the extra walking if I don't think there's going to be like a big payoff. You know what I mean? So I just put a little time in. Just keep scooting up. Oh, don't fall, dummy. I got my old fishing buddy right down there. Y'all look, you can probably see him after I scoot back. Catfish and Slayer, have you caught anything good this year? Well, that game just went bad. Ours just went by. We ought to be getting something. £22 blue. That's better than what I got. Matter of fact, I think that probably beat my best blue. Last year, at the end of the year, I caught one that went 15, and I think that would be my best blue. I did catch many years ago, I caught my best catfish. It's like a 33-pound catfish. But I enjoy it. I'm just out here doing the best I know how. I've caught all kinds of fish. I did win the Indiana Fish of the Year last year for bowfin, and I caught a 28-inch bowfin last year. And then back in 2005, I caught a 17.5-inch white bass that went about 3.5 pounds. And that was my first fish of the year. Which I don't do fishing tournaments. Yeah, it's a Catfish Pro from that I picked up from Walmart for $90. I like it okay, but like the bait alarm on it, I would say is not real smooth. I've caught a couple of decent fish on it. You know, drag's okay, the rod works great. You know, it handles, you know, like I said, I caught that 15-pound blue on it last year. It handled it just fine. But that drag, you know, I really expected it to just be smooth and be able to pull it. But the rod just goes bang, bang, bang. I feel like it causes me to lose fish, you know, no smoother than that thing. A rail? I don't know what you mean by a rail. I'm gonna get next year. You know, at this point in my life, I do have. We never have enough rod and reels, but I do have plenty of rod and reels, so I can hold off. Because, like, at this point, whenever I get something like this, I want to make a significant purchase. And I know a guy out on Facebook that makes rod and reels. I don't know if he does YouTube or not, but I'm going to have him make a catfish rod for me next year. Although I'm going to stick with 7 foot 6 inches. I have a 10-foot rod that I use that's like for an open face, and it's like for bank fishing, it's just more, and even for being in the boat, it's just more trouble than I feel like it's worth. Because a lot of times, I know they're out there real deep, but a lot of times I'm not fishing for fish that are 100 yards away. I did. Hector, they are ugly sticks. Man, I used to fish with ugly sticks a lot. And I don't want to say anything bad about ugly sticks, but I'd always fished with ugly sticks. And then that year I went, there's a place here, and they have not sponsored, but they have online sales, American Legacy Fishing. And if you like quality rod and reels, I would definitely check them out. But they sell used rod and reels. And I got turned on to that place, and I went there and picked up a 7 foot 2 inch medium light spinning rod, a G Loomis spinning rod, right? And immediately, that year when I went fishing, the fish that I was losing, like when I was losing them 5 pound, you know, my bigger bass and stuff, I immediately started catching those fish that were loose. And I just had to attribute it to that rod. Because it was the only thing that changed. It was the same reels, it was the same hook set, but I went to a more quality rod. It just seemed like that's more bass fishing. Oh, okay, I got you. Like a reel for the fishing rod. Yeah, I'm not. I feel like I'm sounding whiny. I'm not totally sure what reel I want to get for the next rod. I know I want to get something quality. I don't necessarily have to have like the bait clicker on it, although I do like having the bait clicker. There we go. They hit one. Oh, we missed it. I still got some on there. So really, I'm thinking like one of the Abu Garcia catfishing reels, or like a pin. Unless something jumps out at me between now and then, and I'm really going to look for something that's going to be like $200 range. I know there's other. Hell, you never know. I might get lucky and just pick up another sponsor and buy it from them. I don't really expect that to happen. My channels are not that large. But if they want to give me a discount on something, I'll take it. I don't mind. I'll push their product over and over and over. I don't know about y'all, but I'm out here working for a living. I ain't exactly doing YouTube for a living. Well, I guess if I could figure out how to sit out here and fish for a living, that's what I do. Hector, I'm not sure where that's at. I'm right here at the Troy boat dock, which I know really we're not supposed to fish on the docks themselves, but I don't see anybody really trying to put their boat in the river being like this. So I didn't think I'd hurt anybody's feelings. And I wish I had a good striped bass spot. Oh, up in New York. Man, it burns my ass how good fishing is in New York. I lived in Indianapolis in like 1995, 94, 95, 96, right in the middle of all that Reggie and the New York stuff. And then to see them guys out there catching them big bass and really catching some really nice fish out in New York. New York has freaking everything. Still, I like Indiana, and I'm happy for you. That's awesome. I have not caught spoon. I know I've made friends with somebody who catches them, that they go after them, and I just got to get the timing right to get with them to go. But that is, there's only, as far as I know, there's only a few fish in Indiana that I have not caught as far as species goes. And that is, I've never caught a muskie, and I haven't caught a saugeye. But I've caught northern, I've caught striped bass, white bass, hybrid bass. A couple weeks ago, I caught my first hybrid bass. Hey, thank you, Hector. Of course, you know, like largemouth, smallmouth, northern pike, I got lucky and caught all of the trout. But that's just, a lot of that's just from living on both the northern part of the state and living in the southern part of the state. Because if you only lived in the southern part, you never see salmon, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, we do get the rainbow trout stocked around here, but it's not like, you know, getting lake roots and brown trout and all that. Gotta get it at the right angle. That's all. Still have people watching? Oh, we still have a few people watching. Any of y'all ever got a hook in you before? I did, a long time ago. I wasn't even fishing. I was at the house grilling. I already had the food on the grill. I was just putting my rod and reels away, and got a treble hook hooked right into my thumb. And finished. I just cut everything loose and finished grilling and ate. Tried pulling it out. Ended up having to go to the emergency room. And apparently I ended up with a ER surgeon that is not a very big fan of fishing. Whatever. The funny part of all that is my cousin just got a hook stuck in him this past week. Well, I got a lot of weight on that. That's the one I got a couple of good bites on. It had shrimp on it. Chicken breast, garlic, and Kool-Aid. I know. I didn't go with chicken breast. I went with shrimp. That's what I got a little bite on. I'll keep that in mind. Next time, Catfish and Slayer, next go around, next time the river floods, hell, maybe just the next time I go, I'll bring a little bit. I did use it once this year with no luck, but everybody catches it on that, so I know it's just because I didn't catch it that day, it's not of a case of, well, since I didn't catch it that day, it doesn't work. I know that's not the deal. I know it works. And I also believe there's logical reasons for the Kool-Aid and the garlic to work. Because you know as well as I do, the catfish's whole body is a tongue. So it's definitely going to, you're putting that more taste out in there, it's definitely going to tell that it's there. And as much as we like sugar and garlic, I would have to think that they like sugar and garlic also. I just don't think that's a stretch of the imagination. And that cherry Kool-Aid, we know that stuff has a lot of flavor to it. Every single man. I'm happy. You got that stuff on video? I'm gonna have to switch over and follow you after. Or Catfish and Slayer. I'm getting them names mixed up. I want to see those videos every cast. I definitely want to see that. Let's just go to the channel. Let's hit subscribe on that. Oh, heck yeah. My man. You need to, you definitely need to send one of those fish into my fishing contest. Here, I'll give you the email address right here. We vote over on Facebook. Where's it at? There it is. Preferably send a picture of you actually holding a fish. And it looks like you're under 18, so make sure you get your parents' permission. I need to, they need to know. But, yeah, that's awesome. That's good. I jumped over and subscribed. I'd seen right there you'd had some videos with some fish. I like it. Man, I love it, dude. I've been fishing, I don't know, growing up in Kentucky, in western Kentucky like I did, back in the 80s, hell, I was 8 or 9 years old, able to just go fishing. If I felt like going fishing, I'd grab my fishing rods and go to the lake. You know, didn't have to have the dad, or really didn't have to have anybody go with me. Them hills were rough though. You know, it's nice to jump on your bike and go, but man, I couldn't hardly get my bike to go up some of them hills, man. They're so steep. And then even at that, going down them so dangerous because we didn't take good care of the stuff. So a lot of times the brakes barely worked, and you end up just going downhill way too fast. And you just end up walking. But yeah, I like it. Man, we just need to get a good bite right now. That's what we need. I'm just a firm believer in that life. If I can use something, I like having something like the chicken and Kool-Aid. I like having something with me when I go, so like I know I'm going to be able to use this. So right off the bat, I can show up and just start catfishing. But then I'll bring another rod, and like I have my net, to try and actually catch something while I'm here. And then a lot of times, like if I catch shad or I catch bluegill or whatever while I'm there, then I'll stop using the shrimp or the chicken. What the fuck that was. And then just start using the live bait or the cut bait that I just caught. Because, you know, all the fish, just like us, they go in patterns. So this is just a theory I have that I've used over the years. Like normally they're going to feed on what's available. And sometimes when you bring stuff that, like chicken, liver, shrimp, whatever, they're not really going to be looking for that, right? They're going to be looking for the shad that's available. And they're always eating bugs and worms and stuff, right? But there's times, I've been out on the river and seen it, one of the reasons why I like to fish with both, there's times where they don't want the shad, they want that thing that they don't normally get. Kind of, well, you know, we do it too, as humans all the time. You know, if I'm out of town, I don't want to eat at the same restaurants I always eat at. I want to go to a restaurant I've never been to before. And even when I'm home, a lot of times, you know, you get a taste for something. You get a taste for something. You haven't had it in a while. You want to eat it. And then every now and then, if something new comes along, you're like, I've ate that a lot lately. I want something else. You know, these are just critters out here just living and feeding and doing what comes natural. I like it. I've heard that before. And the best part of it is like, I never know. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. And people always tell me I'm funny, especially when I'm not trying to be. I like it. Heck yeah. Man, that barge went by. I should have got a big hit. Should have been a big hit. There's a log over there. My fishing buddy's still down there. We've got a crane sitting right down there in the water. That's good. Well, I'm gonna do this probably about 30 more minutes. And I'm gonna have to pack up. Man, we got some likes in there. I like it. Scroll through. Pounder. Pretty dang thrilled if I can get on to a 20 pounder tonight. The first run of flooded water, I was fishing there at Grandview and I lost a real good fish. I was using my catfish rod, and hell, I had to chase, I about had to dive after it. It was taking off the water and everything. I guess I didn't get a good hook set on it because I felt it, and I felt it like, oh, you know how they sit down, and then when I tried pulling it up, the little hook just came out. Oh. Put that out there real far. Look, he's stretching that neck out there now. I see him. Black thing floating, everything floating in the water right now is just driftwood. Thought I'd seen a gar floating earlier, but I really don't think it was. They didn't. It was just too straight. You know, usually when fish are moving, they have a little bit of side-to-side action to them. Like we just had a little bump on the night crawler. Like to get into a big sauger with these dang night crawlers. I know they're here. I don't know why, but I know they're here. It looks like the water's dropped about a foot on me since I've been here. Good fish. Let's reel this in one time. I know it ain't out there very good. Seems like a 3 little dragons on that. Let's get that light. am not. I'll fish with some people who are like firm believers in you just cast it out and you let it sit and let the catfish come to it. But I don't know. I get it. But also, I just feel like sometimes they don't want to move. So if you're able to bring it to them and maybe you're not, if you know the spot and you fish it all the time and you know where to hit that hole where they're sitting, that makes sense. But if you haven't fished that spot before, conditions change, like when the water's up really high, I think you have to move, you know, if you're not getting the bites, you have to move around. And one of the things I think a lot of people don't think about, let me rephrase this. One of the things I didn't think about early on in my fishing career is like how I done. Like I cast it out and I moved it and I moved it and I moved it, and then I'll get a bite, right? So I'll reel it in, like, all right, I got one. Put it on the stringer, throw it back, whatever. And then the next thing I'll do is do the exact same cast I done to start with. And then I'll sit there and wait, and then I'll move it a little bit, and then I'll wait, and then I'll move a little bit, and then I'll wait, and then I'll move it, and then I'll get that bite. And instead of just casting it to that spot where I'm getting that bite right off the bat, I want to say my biggest carp is just under 10 pounds. I have not caught a carp since I've lived in Gary, Indiana. I caught one on the big river, the deep river, where we would salmon fish, and the salmon weren't running at the time. And we'd done so much salmon fishing, like in that spot, we just wanted to try it while, you know, out of season. And we went there and caught I want to say like a 3 or 4 pound catfish, and I caught a pretty good size fish. It may not have been 10 pounds. It may have been closer to 5. So, my wife, we were fishing about 200 yards down there. They used to have a wrecked barge right up real close to the bank over here, right? And like they had like shelf rock. And we were fishing right there, and we just seen this huge carp just swimming back and forth real slow. And she's fishing with the Zebco 33. And she's like, I'm going to catch that carp. I'm like, okay, sure you are. And she puts a bobber on with a little inline spinner and takes and puts crappie pellets all the way around it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, sure you're going to catch that carp fishing with the bobber on the river with that crazy ass rig, sure. And I went up to the truck, which was pretty close, you know, it wasn't 200 yards, it's 20 yards. Went up to the truck to get something, and when I come back, she's standing there with holding her rod, shocked look on her face, and sitting there, just standing there holding half of a fishing rod. And I said, babe, why are you holding half of a fishing rod? She said, I hooked into the carp, and I couldn't yell, I couldn't scream, I couldn't reel. All I could do was hold on to the rod, and her drag was too tight, and it just broke her rod. It's like, damn. That'd have been cool if she'd have caught it. That thing was every bit of probably almost 4 feet long. It was really big. And then it wasn't long after that they ended up pulling that barge out of there. And the fishing here after that, man, I didn't catch fish here for a long time until this year. I kind of quit fishing it. Oh, we got a few people watching. Tell you what, I got one more monster in here. I'm gonna break that out and hope we get a freaking bite between now and then. Do I have another monster in here? There's some shrimp. There's some empty. Here's a half a water bottle. Nope, not the water bottle. Let's see what I've been in here. Yeah, no, that's not the water. There it is. Oh, that should be cold. Reese's cup. Let's see, Marcelo, how are you doing? Where are you from, bud? Right here. We'll call it Southwest Indiana. Right here on the Ohio River, hoping for a big catfish to bite. The river's flooded and dropping, unfortunately. We kind of like the river to be rising. I have a shrimp on this one, and I have a small striped bass on that one. And striped bass is legal to use in Indiana. Anything, as long as it's legally caught, legal size limit, you can use it for bait. Striped bass falls into that category. Oh yeah. I had a couple of good hits on my shrimp. Actually hooked into it and had one break off. Shameful. We did have a couple of barges go by and stir things up. Unfortunately, Marcelo, all I speak is English. I have no idea where that's at. That's cool though. Hope things are doing well there wherever you're at. The internet and YouTube, man, it sure made this world a small place. And there's really nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I got it. Well, it's almost midnight here. Midnight and the Pacers lost. That's tough on us Hoosiers. Although I'm a mixed breed as far as that goes. I was born in Indiana, but I was kind of raised in Kentucky. We moved to Kentucky when I was 5 or 6, and lived there until I was like 15. Then I moved back for a little while. That'd be all right. Living in different places. There's nothing wrong with it. Boy, that striped bass is starting to move a little bit. That's good. Like to see that rod just fucking double over. Normally they'll do that right before they get a big hit. I gotta remember, let's see here. Okay, I see. No new comments yet. moving around. I think it's time to put my bait rod away. There we go. Just fling it around and duck. We got a spot for it in that. There we go. I'll be right back. Y'all let me know if one of these rods take off. Start wrapping it up here. All that there. I'm gonna put all this stuff away. Hope y'all don't mind. Sure, there's a big fish on the way. Alright, we're 2 steps closer. No new comments as far as I can tell. I'm not sure what is in the name of dam. Alright. Oh yeah. I'll check this shrimp rod. We're going to give it one more cast. Oh shit, there's still shrimp on there. I like it. Let's check. Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. Trying to put it out there where we got that last bite, not where we cast it last. There we go. I had that hooked up like Carolina rig style. I had that one more drop shot to where the bull guy should be more up off the bottom. If it's even still alive. But we just seen it moving a second ago, so I'm going to assume it's still alive. These little hunting chairs, like this, man, that's my favorite stuff. The big fold-up chairs. I'm not tall, but I'm very dense. And them big fold-up chairs, man, I kind of get stuck in them. Whenever that fish goes to bite, you need a quick move, man. I end up like dumping the whole chair. Plus, they tend to be a little more to carry. So having a chair like this, like these little hunting chairs, man, I love them. There's nothing to them. My fishing cart I have there, I bought it on Amazon, but ended up just using the frame. Like everything on it I've replaced. Like every bolt I've replaced. It had two little metal pieces going around it. I ended up removing all that stuff and just putting my box on there. Although a friend of mine had a real good suggestion on using the PVC board instead of the plywood, and I think next year I'm gonna switch over to that PVC board. Yeah. Ooh, that white rod just moved. I really enjoy catfishing. Like, if I'm in a bass boat, if I'm taking my bass boat out, I do enjoy bass fishing, especially when I can go to a place that offers a place that's not just covered in grass. Because like, I always fish places with grass, and not that I don't enjoy fishing grass, but like I like the opportunity to be able to throw crankbaits and different stuff. But to be honest, you know, like just pulling up some spot and setting up my rigs and sitting here and waiting for bites, I like that just fine. And especially, and I don't catch big fish as often as I like to think that I do. But like I'm not at a point where if I need to go fishing to catch fish to eat, I can do that. I don't have a problem with it. I have spots that I fish that I'm confident that I can make that happen, especially if I have a couple of days to do it. But just like in my normal weekly fishing trips, I want to catch a big fish, and you know, there's really very few fish around here that are bigger than the catfish, and I'm not really trying to go bow fishing, you know, that sort of thing for the Asian carp. And I know the spoonbill get really big, but I don't have spoonbill fishing spots. Although maybe I'm going to get to do some of that stuff this year. So, catfishing, and the spots that I catfish, like this spot here, and my spot in Grandview, and my spot in Rockport, you know, and even down at the dam, I know like 50-pound catfish being pulled out of there. I've seen pictures, I just know. Like I know the people, you know, my uncle pulled one out, you know, himself. So I'm pretty confident in like, it's just a matter of time. You know, I'm not really doing anything different than any of those people are doing. You know, Mike's not, my uncle wasn't really fishing with like better gear than what I'm fishing. We fished the same style. We fished together so much that like I know our styles of fishing have rubbed off on each other, and we yeah. Except for I don't think he ever learned how to use a bait caster. my my Uncle Mike is like 6 years older than me, so he's old enough. He's old enough to be older than me, but young enough to still be close enough to where, you know, where where we can be friends too. He's an active fisherman. And he knows his stuff. He's really good. All right. Well, bud, it's about midnight here. Catfish Slayer, bud, you're the best. Appreciate you getting on here and talking to me, keeping me company. Send me one of them big fish to that email address. I'll drop it again here real quick. Maybe you can get on a fish of the month or a fish of the year. You can have your parents go over and follow me on Facebook. Yeah, I'll get them into the voting group, and then they can add whoever they want. Heck yeah. Appreciate you, bud. I'm gonna end this and start packing up my stuff. People might start wondering where I'm at. Let's go. Stop streaming.